Finally, both sides are interested in reviving SNK versus Capcom, says producer. The producer behind SNK's biggest fighting franchise has claimed there's interest from all sides in reviving the cult classic. Speaking of VGC,
Cult classic. That's all you got.
This is their words, not mine.
Bullshit.
This is a VGC. The number one best fighting game of all time.
Thank you.
Revered on the Mount Rushmore of versus fighting games, or just fighting games. Period. What do you think? It's up there. Okay.
CVS 2 is like one of the best fighting games ever made.
Wow.
Ever.
Because it's so well revered, they are they are interested in bringing it back. Whether or not they're actually actively looking, that's another matter. Speaking of VGC, Yayuki Oda, the producer and designer who has spearheaded SNK's fighting game revival in recent years, he directed King of Fighters 16 and produced Samurai Showdown, has now suggested that a new installment in the crossover series could finally be feasible. Oda referenced collaborative promotional posters which were released at this month's 2022 EVO fighting game tournament, featuring artwork from both SNK and Capcom games. Unsurprisingly, the nostalgic merch was well received by fans, and Oda told VGC it reconfirmed the public's huge interest in a potential SNK versus Capcom revival.
Huge interest.
Okay, I mean, you guess it's as evident by right here by our own Jason.
Huge interest.
The demand
science has been done. The numbers have been calculated. Huge.
We are putting things into beakers. Things are exploding in our face, and the smoke smells. Huge demand. He said, "This is Oda. Definitely in the future, that's something that I think everybody on all sides in both parties are interested in making a reality." Okay. Actually, Jason, do you think that is really true, or is this something he's just saying? Do you think Capcom has real interest in making this happen again?
I think Capcom has interest in it. I think they're weighed down by the fact that licensing is such a fucking bitch that it's hard for them to move forward. I think what's actually more, what's likely to happen is an SNK versus Capcom, as opposed to like a Capcom versus SNK 2, which are the more revered of the series. The SNK versus Capcom, not so much, even though Guile had the best fucking hair in SNK versus Capcom.
And the difference there is that when SNK is first, it's developed by SNK. Yeah. Is that what that means?
Right. Exactly. But SNK is like ass deep in Garo right now, Mark of the Wolves. So they're already in development with that. So like if it happens, it's not going to be for quite some time, I'm sure. But I think that's the more likely of the two, which is fine.
Yeah. And that's great. And I mean, it's just once they put it out there like this, people will be like, oh, when we can, bother Capcom about this, and maybe that makes it more likely as well, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease and all that stuff.